In all of Georgia, there is only one county named after a woman, Hart County in northeast Georgia. It is named after Nancy Hart, a legendary woman who lived and fought during the Revolutionary War. She was a mother, a farm wife, and according to some, a patriot and a warrior in the fight against the British. This was a woman you didn't want to fool around with. The story goes that she was 6 feet tall, cross-eyed, had fiery red hair, used bad language, and had a bad temper. It seems that one day, while her daughter is churning butter, a patrol of Tories comes sneaking up to the cabin. These are the bad guys, British sympathizers who fought against the American patriots.
Woman, we've been riding all day long and we mighty hungry. So you gonna cook us up a meal.
You just get on out of here. I ain't aiming on feeding no king's men. I ain't got nothing but a turkey gobbler left. Tories done took every one of my chickens and all my pigs. Now get on out of here.
Not leaving is a big mistake. But of course, they won't listen. So they all come into the cabin and tell Nancy Hart to prepare a meal using her last turkey gobbler.
Well, she really got her steam up then, but she developed this plan in her head. So all of a sudden she becomes very friendly, and she starts joking with them, talking with them, even sampled their fine whiskey, just to get along with them. And they began to think, well, maybe these stories about this war woman are not right. Maybe she's a pretty good lady here. They had a fine time with her, and she was a smart person. Truly she was.
Y'all drink up.
These poor Tories don't know it, but they've more than met their match in Nancy Hart. Turns out she is pretty smart. In fact, she devises a devilish scheme. First, get the men their drinks, and then send her daughter Suki down to the creek.
Where do you think you're going, child?
She's just going down to the spring to fetch some water for your meal, if and that's all right with you.
Well, go on then. Be quick about it.
The unsuspecting clods, don't they realize this is all part of her plan? So they just keep on drinking, enjoying their whiskey, and the next thing you know...
What was that?
It was just Suki down at the spring, blowing the conch shell, scaring off the engines.
We ain't seen no engines.
Of course you ain't seen no engines. That's on account of the Suki blowing the conch shell.
Little by little, that brave, sneaky woman starts slipping the Tory muskets outside.
She's stealing our gun.
Don't you take one step closer to me. You freeze in your track. I ain't afraid to shoot you. Get over there.
She can't see straight, much less shoot straight.
The story goes that Nancy had two eyes that went in separate directions. But about that, there is some debate.
She was not cross-eyed. That was a nasty Tory story. They told that story to justify how she could hold those 6 Tories captive that long. Her victims didn't tell the story, but the people who heard about it, she bragged pretty good bit. They made up this story and said the only way she could have held them was for them to say, okay, she's looking this way. No, she's looking that way. You go. No, she's looking that way. She was not cross-eyed.
At least we know she could see well enough to shoot straight.
That is for killing John Dooley. And this is for you being so doggone ugly.
It seems that being ugly was once a crime in this state. But this is the moment history remembers. 1 woman, 2 dead Tories. And because her daughter had snuck out to blow the conch shell, it isn't long before Nancy's husband shows up to help.
Nance! Sue! Are you all right?
Of course we are all right as soon as we get this here vermin out of here.
Let's take them out and finish shooting them.
We ain't shooting them. Shooting's too good for them. Them's the one that killed John Dooley. And I'm the one that captured him, and I'm the one that's a-hanging them. Now get!
So they took the Tories to the apple orchard and hanged all of them. And the legend of Nancy Hart was born. Of course, you might ask, how much of this story is true? For example, some say she wasn't red-haired or cross-eyed. Others say she was. By some accounts, 5 soldiers came to her house, not 6. Some say she shot 2 men. Others say she killed 1 man, wounded another. One historian says she never shot anybody. So... One last question. How much of this whole thing is true, you figure?
There's some basis of truth. Who knows how much of it's been embellished through time? You know, as you read 3 or 4 different histories, you'll hear 3 or 4 different accountings. But there is certainly some basis for truth.
Supposedly, this is a photograph of Nancy Hart from the historical collection of the Georgia chapter of the Daughters of the American Revolution. There's only one problem. It shows Nancy in the year 1765, a half-century before photography was even invented. There are still lots of places I'd like you to see in this state. There are still a lot of people I'd like you to meet. This is Georgia Stories. I'm Colin Sedor. Thanks.